Pollution is an ever-growing problem for the Earth and especially for Malaysia, which was listed as one of the Asian countries facing waste management issues. According to Greenpeace Malaysia, more than 19 countries dump their plastic waste in Malaysia to be recycled, with the US as the highest contributor. China was the previous largest waste importer, and their ban on it has nearly doubled Malaysia's imports in 2018. Malaysian clinical waste has also risen due to the COVID-19 virus by 20% from 2019's 33,800 tons. The largest contributors to this clinical waste were Selangor, Kuala Lumpur, and Sarawak. According to 2020 figures, Sarawak has 3 sanitary landfills, Selangor, KL and Pahang have 2, and every other state in Malaysia only has 1 landfill. The large amounts of waste produced by each state accompanied with the imported waste from other countries could have damaging effects on Malaysia. The land pollution could defertilize soil and threaten the agricultural sector, which makes up to 12% of the nation's GDP and employs 16% of Malaysia's population. Among 6 Asian countries analysed in 2016, which are China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand and Vietnam, Malaysia had the highest annual per capita plastic consumption at 16.78 kg, followed by Thailand and China respectively. In 2017, Malaysia's recycling rate was only 28%. This was less than half of Singapore's rate of 61% in the same year. The lack of trash segregation into plastic, paper and organic in Malaysia makes post-consumer packing difficult to recycle, including low-value materials like polystyrene. The only solution to the unsustainable waste problem in Malaysia may be the circular economy. But what is that?
Well, according to the European Parliamentary Research Service, the circular economy is a production and consumption model which involves reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling existing materials and products to keep materials within the economy wherever possible. It also applies 7 Sustainable Development Goals, which is energy, economic growth, sustainable cities, sustainable consumption and production, climate change, oceans, and life on land. You may better understand it when compared to our current economic model, which is linear. It follows the take, make, dispose outlook, in which products are created to eventually be disposed of. Attempts to recycle or downcycle materials often leads to a lower quality materials than the original were. Compared to this, the circular economy aims to design out waste while extending products' life cycles and regenerating our environment. Products can be repaired and resold to the customers or used in the manufacturing process to create new goods or even recycled, where end results are sometimes even higher quality than the original materials were. The need for a less wasteful economic model was first proposed by Kenneth Edward Boulding in 1966, and the term circular economy was coined by Pierce and Turner in 1989 in their book Economics of Natural Resources and the Environment. In 1998, Benyu suggested that replicating the nature's habit of regenerating into our ecosystem will be effective against industrial issues like environmental damage and could be used to compare organizational performance.
So, why would Malaysia implement a circular economy? Well, to start, it could halve our greenhouse gas emissions and landfill waste compared to 2005 figures, and a fifth of the recycled valuable items could generate 1.4 billion ringgit per year. This is only 2% of Malaysia's tax revenue for 2020 and could finance 3/4 of the total sustainable waste management cost of 1.86 billion ringgit Malaysia. For Malaysia's manufacturing industry, implementing a circular economy could allow the oleochemical plant to save 1 million ringgit annually. The acetylene plant could save half of that, while earning an income of the same amount. Tax cycle Sdn Bhd could also save up to 63,000 ringgit every year.
When it comes to implementing the circular economy, there are 3 stages it can occur at, with the smallest scale being macro among individual firms. Operating in Malaysia, IKEA takes in their used products to refurbish, repurpose and resell them. Malaysian company Free the Seed Sendirian Berhad use biodegradable packing from cellulose fibrous biomass of paddy waste and has created jobs for over 1,300 below 40, which known as B40, Northern Malaysian farmers with paddy straws burning. It aims to eliminate single-use plastic and acquires its necessary materials 10 years in advance to avoid disruption during global crisis.
The next level of implementation will be setting up eco-industrial parks, where multiple firms semi-establish a system of efficient energy and resource use. In Malaysia, there is currently only Pengerang Eco-Industrial Park, PEIP, located in Johor, strategically within 4 kilometers from Petronas Refinery and Petrochemical Integrated Development. Created by Serba Dynamic Holdings Berhad for 1.5 billion ringgit, PEIP is a one-stop center for plant and machinery maintenance while providing infrastructure, facilities, products and services. The largest scale of implementing circular economy will be macro or on a societal level, which is to practice a system with efficient resource extraction and upcycling at the end of the product's useful life. This system is the most effective at reducing and maybe even eliminating environmental damage, as it ensures every part of the system is integrated with sustainability and is created to function in the long term. Currently, this only exists in China and there does not seem to be any talks of such a system in Malaysia. But despite that, Malaysia has had other government initiatives throughout the years for sustainable development.
Malaysia has and will continue to support the accelerated action and transformative pathway of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
The 2016 to 2030 11th Malaysia Plan, led by the Ministry of Economic Affairs, involved green growth and EU-Malaysia collaboration under sustainable consumption and production. Promoting collaboration with European green companies will help Malaysia SMEs or small and medium enterprises achieve sustainable goals, either by sharing ideas and resources or teaching the skill sets required, considering the lack of green leaders in Malaysia. Roadmap towards Zero Single-Use Plastics 2018 to 2030 is led by the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change and promotes the Circular Economy Roadmap Malaysia strategy. This strategy pushed large-scale use of eco-friendly bio bags rather than plastic ones, and more than 1,500 manufacturing projects in the plastic industries with investments value over 18 billion ringgit Malaysia have been implemented as of March 2019. The 2019 Sustainable Development Financing Fund, led by Bank Pembangunan Malaysia Berhad, supports the government effort to implement the 17 Sustainable Development Goals under the United Nations Development Programme. It is a financing scheme of 1 billion ringgit Malaysia to fund the nation's sustainable development target, in which a subsidy of 2% is given to companies that contribute to the 17 SDGs. This works as financial incentive to promote practicing circular economy.
Malaysian government has implemented penalising policies like fining Lee Suhua and Son Sendirian Berhad 70,000 ringgit for failing to write in about their air pollution and lack of proper smoke controlling systems. They also fined 15,000 ringgit to all 3 Tohloh Construction Sendirian Berhad, 933 Renovation and Enterprise and CK Kim Trading for illegally dumping construction waste. So, why is there so much talk about the circular economy now? And why haven't we implemented it yet? In reports from the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development in 2018 and the United Nations in 2019, after looking into the accounting methods and calculating its advantages, they both came to the conclusion that the lack of data made it uncertain to what extent the circular economy was realistic.
Another reason for the lack of circular economy practice is the fact that most Malaysian SMEs don't know about it, as shown in Malaysia Productivity Corporation's Business Sustainability Assessment. MPC helps organizations adopt circular economy for long-term economic growth, and after surveying 500 Malaysian executives from various sectors, they found that only 7% of the respondents were currently adopting circular economy practices. 80% were planning to shift towards it, while 10% were trying to learn more before implementing, and 3% of the respondents were not considering circular economy practice at all. Malaysia needs a stronger top-down approach to continue implementing a circular economy until we reach the macro level. Illegal factories and collectors pose a problem as the shadow economy makes up 21% of Malaysia's GDP. Malaysia's expanding bungkus or takeaway food culture has accelerated the domestic plastic packaging generation, and the local recycling sector only has the processing capacity for low-value materials like polystyrene and low-density polyethylene flexible packaging. Malaysia has the potential to be the leaders of the circular economy movement in Asia.